class.
And is there anywhere probably, um, something like that is pretty nuanced level of the skill. Is there anywhere where it's aligned like, well, this is really more for like eighth grade and up, and this is more, whereas sixth grade, get the its versus its thing. Is there anything that's
Yes.
scoped and sequenced level of complexity or no?
Yeah, so if you look at the modules, so we're, like I mentioned, I think on our first call, a nine person company, and about half of us used to be teachers. So
Yeah.
when we build these modules, basically, we all understand that grammar is a terrible thing to teach, and scope and sequence has really been missing from it for a long time.
Yeah.
So when we build these modules, you'll see that when you create an assignment, it mirrors this same, kind of view that your students will see.
Okay.
And so the top left application of any skill is always going to be the simplest. And as you read a book, so across the top, and then down across, they will get more complex. So while we do ask for students' grade levels when they sign up, we prefer to let student performance kind of trump grade level. As I'm sure you guys are thinking as well. If a student's in eighth grade and they are consistently performing at a fifth or sixth grade level, it's not super helpful. They keep getting eighth grade questions. And so these modules are, kind of built to have a very purposeful scope and sequence. So that helps teachers, kind of understand how they should assign things based on how kids are performing. But also, as a teacher, if you're telling kids to work on their practice pages, you can always tell them to start here and go across as they read a book, and they'll naturally go through scope and sequence.
Yeah. But you could see, like, on this kid's example, they kind of poked ahead a little bit, did really well on some, then went back, and that's probably what you would see anyway, right, if there's free choice. But if they know that, it's good to know that it's built sequentially.
Exactly, and so if you create an assignment, so maybe a teacher created an assignment assessing all of these skills that have data in them, and the student excelled at a few of these skills, for some reason understands, common nouns and plural possessives better than, plural possessives better than its versus its, this will show that. Otherwise, if teachers don't pre-fill this data with assignment data or whatever it is, kids can just work through these modules one at a time.
Is there anything else that you think a teacher needs to know? I mean, these are awesome getting going and really overview. Like, is there anything else that we didn't touch on?
I would say one of the most valuable things is, if you're a teacher, one of the most valuable things is knowing what your students will see on the site. So all teachers have fully functional student accounts built into their accounts. So you'll just click this guy in the middle. It says View Site as a Student, and you'll be taken to what a student will see of your class. The home page is where they will see all the stuff that you create for them. The rules page is where they can access any of the mini lessons that will pop up for them at any time. So if you decide, obviously we are embracing a flipped classroom model, students will kind of see remediation when they need it, and we won't kind of front load the instruction. But if you would rather say, okay, I know for a fact that my students do not know what adverbs are, and they need to work on that before they start using Noredink and that category, you can direct them here, or you can project this and kind of go over this mini lesson with your class. If students are doing this on their own, they can also access practice from each of these mini lessons. So this is just another way of introducing your students to different subcategories if you'd prefer to front load some of that instruction. And so you'll be able to access anything that we have on the site here. It's a pretty long list, so you can just kind of go here purposefully, or just kind of read over it one day and kind of see what you think would be worth calling out to your class. And then the practice page, of course, is where they'll be able to access this work. But I would recommend playing around as a kid. Let's jump and seeing what happens when you mess up, so that you understand what your students are saying when they, ask questions or things like that. So, for example, this is verb tense. We can change any of these words here. Here's an example of how the site will adapt based on the student mistake. This is clearly the mistake here. But let's say that Cam Newton painted a portrait of his dad. The student doesn't understand what verb tense is here. the program will call out and say, hey, let's see if we highlight the verb if the student is able to conjugate it correctly, so they get a little more scaffolding. They don't get it correct, we scaffold down again and say, okay, we'll give them a few options to click through, see if they're able to identify, so kind of the bottom tier of Bloom's taxonomy here. We're still not getting it. We'll see that mini lesson kind of cluing us into using context clues to figure out verb tense. When we try a new problem here, it will also be scaffolded down for us. So I'm going to say, okay, I've learned that this context clue lets me know that this should be future tense. And now, you see our mastery score hasn't jumped up yet until we prove that we understand this skill without all of that remediation. Now that we say we understand it, our mastery will jump up. So I say it's very beneficial to jump in and kind of make mistakes as a kid to see how the site responds.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that's one of the most valuable ways to kind of fully understand this site and what it has to offer your students.
Right. How about we've got some teachers who are resource teachers that work with some classes and students.
Yeah.
Is there a way for two teachers to work on one set of classes? Like
yeah. I have two answers to that. First, we don't have a way for teachers to kind of share a class right now. So what teachers can do is either lots of teachers have created generic logins for their resource teachers or special ed teachers to use, so they just share the account. Otherwise, though, because we do licensing by the student, if I am in my gen ed teacher's classroom and then my resource teacher also wants to work with me on Noredink, I can enroll in both of their classes and have only count as one premium license, but also kind of the data is on the student license, so teachers will be able to see kind of student performance across classes.
So you're saying a resource teacher could generate classes?
Correct. So if I'm a resource teacher and I have one room of 8 kids, I can create a class for those 8 kids, and if those kids have premium in one of their other gen ed classes, they'll also be able to use it in my classroom when I enter my premium code.
So all the data from the other class will get into that class?
I know we do it year over year. Let me verify with our head engineer that it also does in real time. I'm pretty sure it does, but I just want to verify that first.
Okay. And how does a new teacher generate a new class again?
Yeah, so if I am a teacher, I create an account, I enter my premium code.
Okay.
All I'll do is scroll down here, enter a new class, let's say resource 1. I'll just click add class, it appears here. Once I activate premium on this class, I'm all set to go. I'll just give my students this premium code, and they'll be able to, or rather class code, and they'll be able to join my class that way.
So if because I don't think our resource teachers made accounts yet, so all they need to do is go to Noredink and log in with the premium code, and they'll be able to add a class and stuff.
Yeah, are you guys a Google Apps school?
A what?
A Google Apps for education school?
Yeah.
Cool. So those teachers will click sign up for free. You will click sign up with Google.
Yeah.
And you will just be asked to sync it with whichever account you want to. And that'll be it. So then you'll be able to log in with your Google credentials, you'll enter your premium code, and you'll be all set to go. It takes probably a minute total.
And then you get the kids to enroll with that class code.
Yep, you write it on the board or put it on your class blog or whatever the case is.
Yeah, if you could let us know if that student data will then go over and populate the new class, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll just pop over and ask Josh, who's right outside of this tiny room I'm in, right after we hop off.
Okay.
And are there any other questions that you think your teachers will have? I'm sure, I'm always here as questions arise, but just
I think there's a great dig into the new features, the reminders of how to get it going, and some of the great things that the program offers. So I think it's good for now.
Awesome. So I'll also send you that YouTube link. That'll be kind of a streamlined and more purposeful one than than we just had, in case your teachers want something to refer back to at all times as well. Just shoot over any questions as they arise, and we're really excited about working with you guys.
Fantastic. We are too, Ned. Thanks a lot for your support.
Yep. Take care, Scott.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.